So like I was saying, this is a very mild bill that would have allowed more housing to be built by transit stops. But even though this bill was extremely mild, it would have only allowed for a slightly more housing to be built. Even that, the liberal, leftist, socialist, even that's too much. That's too much for the people that are just greedy, 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 and they want their house price to skyrocket. Even this just little bit of reform was too much for the socialist that want to create a socialist system, and they want to do that by making house prices astronomical. That's how they create their socialist system. And here's what's happening. All right, here's another article we got from, guess where? The leftist socialist shithole of California. That's what it's turned into. I mean, I'm just going to say it what it is. I mean, that's what it is. All right, California used to be a paradise. It used to be a middle-class paradise. Now it's a leftist shithole. All right, so this is another article by the socialist communist tyrants in California. This is a California battle fight over rent controls on, supporters say. I don't even want to read this because it's so depressing, but I'll just talk to you about it real quick. So basically, we have these poor people in California that think the only way that they can get an apartment is with rent control. It's absolute craziness. All right. So we got these poor people, lower income people in California that want rent control. So now they want rent control in California. They want rent control in more and more cities, basically. I guess there's a bill in California that it limits rent control, and they want to do a ballot proposal to basically make it so they can do rent control all over the state and make it much more broad and much more expanded. These people just don't get it. Rent control does not make the rent cheaper. It makes the rent sky high. All right, rent control is horrendous. I mean, that is the most leftist, socialist, failed policy you can do for housing. It just makes housing prices astronomical. It makes rents for new people astronomical. The people that get the rent control units, they stay there forever. So they'll be like 25, 30, they'll get the rent control unit. They'll never leave. They'll just stay there for the next 50 years. They never build equity because they're just a rent control unit renter for their entire life. They never get ahead. They never get middle class. It's just a socialist scam. The politicians love it because they just create a socialist voting bloc. It is disgusting and it is sick. And now these poor people and these middle class people, and I guess even some of the upper class people as well, probably a lot of techies, they want rent control too. It's just a joke. It is just a socialist leftist joke. And all it's going to do is, if that proposition passes and they expand rent control to more and more cities in California and they expand it, it's just going to make the rents for new people go higher. The developers are going to build even less apartments. They're going to build even less apartments, causing rents to go even higher, creating an even bigger housing crisis, making the existing housing even more expensive. It's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting. But what do you expect in the liberal, leftist, socialist shithole that has now become what California sadly has become? It's sadly become that because of the leftist craziness of the state. Wanting to just bring in tens of millions of illegals as a massive low-wage slave labor workforce, to benefit the filthy rich elites, and then use rent control and socialism to create a mass voting bloc at the bottom. What is it, Venezuela? I mean, that's what it's going to turn into. That's exactly what it's going to turn into if they keep going the way they're going.